Good afternoon, the good people of Ghana, Africa, and of the world. Welcome back to Don't Do One TV Global Health Update. Today is Tuesday, 2nd June 2020, and what we are going to talk about is COVID-19 and the face mask. Any scientific basis, the global changing stance on its use. Without much ado, let's go to the business of the day. Now we'll start with this. When we say face mask, what is it all about? Now, a face mask, originally called the surgical mask, is intended to be worn by health professionals during healthcare procedures, surgeries, and all that. It is designed to prevent infections in patients and treating personnel by catching bacteria shed in liquid droplets and aerosols from wearer's mouth and nose. They are not designed to protect the wearer from breathing in airborne bacteria or viruses whose particles are smaller. With respect to some infections like influenza, they appear as effective as respirators, such as the N95 and the FFP mask, though the latter, that is a FFP mask, provide better protection in laboratory experiments due to their material shape and the tight seal. Now, face mask or surgical mask vary by quality and levels of protection. Despite their name, not all surgical masks are appropriate to be used during surgery. Surgical mask may be labeled accordingly: surgical, isolation, dental, or medical procedure mask. I repeat, surgical mask may be labeled as surgical, that is face mask, may be labeled surgical, isolation, dental, or medical procedure mask. Now, the Chinese have added one. The Chinese health officials distinguish between medical, that is non-surgical, and then surgical mask. So that we have the Chinese classification added to what we already have. Now, surgical mask. Surgical masks are made of a non-woven fabric created using a melt blowing procedure. Now, they came into use in the 1960s and are largely replaced cloth face mask in the developed countries. Now, the use of surgical mask during the COVID-19 pandemic has been a subject of debate, as shortage of surgical mask is a central issue. Now, surgical masks are popularly worn by the general public all year round in East Asian countries like China, Japan, and South Korea to reduce the chance of spreading airborne diseases to others. And so it is their practice, and prevent the breathing in of airborne dust particles created by air pollution. You know, these industrialized East Asian countries, China, Japan, and the rest, there's a lot of fog with a lot of air pollution. So when they wear the face mask, it protects them. So it has been the norm. It is not the coronavirus that made them start wearing the mask. It is part of their culture. Now, additionally, surgical masks have become a fashion statement, particularly contemporary East Asian culture, bolstered by its popularity in Japanese and Korean pop culture, which have a big impact on East Asian youth culture. Now, the question is, how does face mask work? Now, when someone who has COVID-19 coughs, sneezes, or talks, they send tiny droplets with the coronavirus into the air. Now, that's where the face mask can help. A face mask covers your mouth and nose. It can block the release of virus-filled droplets into the air when you cough or sneeze. This helps slow the spread of COVID-19. Can face mask protect me from the coronavirus? Now, this is the answer. A cloth face mask won't totally block the coronavirus, but it is an added layer of protection for you and the people around you when you use it, along with the regular hand washing, social distancing of at least 6 feet or 2 meters. from your contacts. Face mask, face mask, face mask, face mask. Now, what have been the original uses of face mask? Now, let's zoom in on that. A face mask, originally called surgical mask, is intended to be worn by the health professionals, as I said, during healthcare procedures. It is designed to prevent infections in patients and treating personnel by catching bacteria shed in liquid droplets and aerosols from the wearer's mouth and nostrils. So, in effect, they are not designed to protect the wearer from breathing in airborne bacteria or viruses. It only depends upon the kind of filters that are being used. That will determine the quality of that particular face mask. Now, going forward, what are the types of face masks we have? Now, we have masks for health professionals. We have masks for non-health care workers. Now, we have dust mask and all that. Now, let's zoom in on the mask for healthcare professionals. Now, the commonest one that always comes to mind, or that a lot of healthcare professionals like using, is the N95, because the potency or the it has 95% chance of protecting the wearer against certain microbes and all that. Now let's zoom in on that. Now, N95 respirators and surgical masks should be reserved for healthcare workers and first responders to healthcare emergencies. Now, because there aren't enough of these masks for everyone, it is always important that they go to the doctors, the nurses, paramedics, and other medical staff who need them most. An N95 respirator mask fit tightly around your face. They filter out 95% or more of the smallest particles in the air. But they have to fit just right in order to work. N95 respirator mask, and for that matter, surgical mask the surgical masks are often blue with white borders. So that is how to distinguish the surgical mask from the N95 respirators. The N95 respirators are usually white, and then the surgical masks are usually blue with white borders. So that's the difference. Now, the surgical mask fit loosely across your nose and your mouth. That is a small disadvantage. This mask shield against large droplets that come from sick person's cough or sneeze. Don't forget that coronavirus is a large RNA virus. So surgical mask will be protective to some extent. This mask shield against large droplets that come from sick person's cough or sneeze, but they are too loose to protect against all microbes, and they can't block the tiniest particles that may carry coronavirus. Now, we are on the mask for non-healthcare professionals. Now, cloth masks are best for people who don't work in the healthcare. As you can see from Czech Republic throughout the world, a lot of people have been sewing the cloth mask because the N95 respirators and then the surgical mask have suddenly run short because the health professionals are in dire need of them, and they've used them and they are totally in short supply. And so the only way to support the production of the N95 respirators and the surgical mask is for cloth masks to be produced in large quantities across the world. So that explains why a lot of cloth masks are being produced all over the place. Now, cloth masks are best for people who don't work in healthcare. Here are some tips to keep in mind when making your own or looking for the handmade mask, in case you are walking down the street, across the street, and maybe the one you used yesterday or two days ago or last week has become dirty or torn and you want new ones. the ones you see in the street, these are the characteristics you should look for. Now, you can sew the fabric, tie it around your face, or fold it around some hair ties for ear loops. Now, use at least 2 layers of material. That is a guide to the fashion designers or the dressmakers or the tailors who want to make the face mask to sell. You might add a pocket for a filter. Be sure to take it out before you wash the mask. Add a copper or wire ribbon on the nose of the mask to help it fit better on your nostril. Now, to buy other kinds of masks to support the N95 respirators and then the surgical mask and the cloth mask, we have what we call the dust mask. Dust, D-U-S-T mask. They look like the N95 respirators, but don't filter out as many particles as the N95 can do. Now we have the neoprene mask, which can help stop the droplet that may carry the virus, the neoprene mask. Now try using the neck gaiter. That is a piece of material tied in a loop made of stretchy synthetic fabric. You fold it into multiple layers if the material is thin. All these things can be used as mask. Now we are going to compare face mask, the various varieties of face mask. The one that have got loops, the one that have got ties, and then the ones with clear filters that you can see, and then the ones without filters. What advantages do they have over each other? Now, let's deal with the face mask with ear loops versus the face mask with ties. Now, because you can adjust it, a mask that ties behind your head will usually fit your face better than the one that loops around your ears. But ties can get tangled up in the wash, and some people prefer the fit of the ear loops. They are also better for places like the hair salons, and then the barber shops. So that's the comparison between the ear loops, the face mask with the ear loops, and then the ties. Now let's deal with the face mask with filters and those without filters. Now, a series of layers of fabric makes more places for virus particles to stick instead of going out into the air. This is for the filtered ones. Now, a filter helps in this process, but too many layers might prevent people from being able to breathe. And those with respiratory problems, there might be serious consequences. For example, if you have asthma or any respiratory condition, it may affect you. A chronic respiratory condition, it may affect you. Use a mask that's most comfortable, so you are more likely to keep wearing it. But be sure to check that the filter material doesn't have something dangerous like fiberglass in it before you bring respiratory or allergic diseases, exacerbate allergic conditions. Now, how does coronavirus spread that warrants the use of face mask? How does coronavirus spread that warrants the use of face mask? You know, when coronavirus started, a lot of the times, even World Health Organization had a certain stance together with a lot of global health regulatory agencies that the face mask should be for healthcare professionals only. But as time went on, the school of thought changed, the goalposts changed, and in the course of the presentation, there is this neurosurgeon, Blaylock, who has got some kind of hypothesis backed by some kind of theory, with others with antithesis against his. We will look at all that, the pros and cons of using face mask, the continual changing of goalposts between healthcare professionals and then healthcare specialists, and then the health regulatory agencies, even including World Health Organization, CDC, and all of that. Now, so how does coronavirus spread that warrants the use of face mask? Now, COVID-19 is thought to spread mainly through close contact from person to person. Some people with that symptoms may be able to spread the virus. We are still learning about how the virus spreads and the severity of the illness it causes. Person to person spread, the virus is thought to spread mainly from person to person. Now, between people who are in close contact of up to 6 feet or 2 meters. Now, through respiratory droplets produced when an infected person coughs, sneezes, or talks, the virus can spread. Now, these droplets can land on the mouth or noses of people who are nearby, or possibly inhaled into the lungs. Now, COVID-19 may be spread by people who are not showing symptoms. That explains why, for example, despite all the good policies of a lot of presidents around the world, including my good president, Nana Akufo-Addo, the numbers keep rising. Now, the numbers could be rising for several reasons. One of the reasons is there's a testing. Now, as we continue to test, we'll pick a lot of the cases. And the other reason why the numbers could be going up is if people are not adhering to the preventive measures of controlling the COVID-19. Wear a face mask, don't get too close to people who are sick, suffering from the COVID-19. Or better still, wear wear the face mask. Make sure that you are not too close to people up to 6 feet or at least 2 meters. Regularly washing your hands under running water with soap. Frequent sanitizing of your hand, and then all the necessary preventive measures. We have to make sure that for every surface we touch, for example, the doorknobs and all that, we have to wash our hands with soap and water or sanitize our hands. We should not be involuntarily touching our faces and our mouth and all that, or our eyes. By so doing, we'll be spreading the disease, and then we'll keep increasing the COVID-19 curve instead of flattening it or reducing the height of the curve. So as I said, COVID-19 may be spread by people who are not showing symptoms. The virus spreads easily between people. How easily a virus spreads from person to person can vary based upon a lot of factors, including people's immunity. Some viruses are highly contagious, like measles, while other viruses do not spread easily. Another factor is whether the spread is sustained, which means it goes from person to person without stopping. Now, assuming somebody has coronavirus, let's take a case in point, the factory in Tama, whereby somebody got coronavirus. He didn't tell his co-workers, and then he kept spreading it to about 499 other people, and about 500 workers all got coronavirus. You understand? There's a sustained spread. Let's take a case in point, a conference hall. Somebody has coronavirus, the ventilation there is poor. Now, if the conference hall is smaller, there can be sustained spread of the coronavirus from one person to the other. You understand? So all these things, the right wearing of face mask can reduce the spread of the disease. Now let's note this, that the virus that causes COVID-19 is spreading very easily and sustainably between people. Information from the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic suggests that this virus is spreading more efficiently than even influenza, but not as efficiently as measles, which is highly contagious. The virus may be spread in other ways. It may be possible that a person can get COVID-19 by touching a surface or object that has the virus on it, as I said, doorknobs and all that. Now, later dates, we will talk about coronavirus spread through pets. You understand? Now, but let's take just a minute information from that presentation that is to come in later dates. Spread between animals and people. Now, at this time, the risk of COVID-19 spreading from animals to people is considered to be very low. It appears that the virus that causes COVID-19 can spread from people to animals in some situations. Now, U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is aware of a small number of pets worldwide, including cats and dogs, reported to be infected with the coronavirus that causes. Mostly after close contact with the people with the COVID-19. Now, this is a health presentation, but because of socioeconomic reasons, certain people may not even be able to buy face masks. That is even just 1 CD or 2 CD or whatever. Or somebody will say 1 naira, 2 naira or whatever. So the issue is, let's use the next 1 or 2 minutes to talk about how to make a no-sew face mask. No-sew, that is like sewing. So, S-E-W. So how to make a no-sew face mask. Now the easiest way to make a face mask is to use the CDC's, that is US Centers for Disease Control and Prevention's known sew method. Now that's how it goes. Use a bandana or other square of cloth measuring about 20 inches on each side. Fold it in half. Fold the top third down and the bottom third up, so you can have a long rectangle. Slide the rectangle through 2 rubber bands or elastic hair ties until they are about 6 inches apart. Fold the side of the fabric in towards the middle and tack the ends together. Hook the elastics over your ears and adjust the fabric so that it is snug against your face but not too tight. Let's note as follows. How well you can breathe through a material is as important as how well it will stop the spread of a disease, including the COVID-19. Now, if it's too hard to breathe, it can be dangerous for people with respiratory problems, as I've said earlier. Heavy breathing might also affect how well the mask works. Research has found that quilter's cotton, that is Quilter', quilter's cotton, filters out a lot of particles, especially tight weaves with thicker threads, such as batik, can do the trick with filtering capabilities. Now, masks with cotton outer layers and flannel inner layers also work well. Another study on how well fabrics filtered out certain germs recommended a pillowcase or cotton t-shirt because of its stretch. So all these materials can also be used as filter materials for mask or even for the mask itself. Now the researchers gave these rankings for fabrics. Now because COVID-19 has tested the healthcare management potential of all countries of the world, including US, who had at least 100,000 ventilators before the coronavirus. Ghana, that had 100 or less ventilators before the coronavirus hit the country and all that. A lot of know-hows have to come to play in manufacturing locally or industrially face mask. Now, different materials have been used to make the face mask, and researchers have gone into the potency or the how good certain masks can fight or protect people against the viruses. Now, we have 7 fabrics that the researchers have arranged in order of how best one is against the other, over the other. Now, we have the tea towel, which has 2 layers. We have the cotton mixed fabric, that's number 2. 3, 100% cotton t-shirt, that's 2 layers. Antimicrobial pillowcase, standard pillowcase, 6, scarf, and then 7, linen. So scarf, something like using your handkerchief as face mask. All those things fall under the scarf. So that falls under 6 in the as far as potency in protecting against the coronavirus or any microbe that is airborne or that is in droplet infection spread is concerned. Now, despite its high rating, the researchers of this various fabrics used in making face masks didn't recommend using tea towel because it was too hard to breathe through. You know, when it comes to the use of face mask, manufacture of face mask, and then vis-a-vis the materials used in making a face mask, the ability of the mask for you to breathe through the mask is as important as how it will protect against the spread of viruses or microbes through that are airborne or vice versa. So the researchers didn't recommend the use of the tea towel because it is too hard to breathe through. Now, touching on the filters, what face mask filters can one use in case you want to manufacture your own face mask at home or at your local fashion house? Now, some household items may work as filter layers in homemade masks, including the following. Now, paper products that you can breathe through, such as coffee filters, paper towels, and toilet paper. But you have to make sure that the toilet paper you are using, it is the high quality type, not the type that easily breaks up. And asthmatics and all those people, even the paper towel, you have to stay away from there. You have to use the N95 respirators, surgical mask, and then the cloth mask that are of higher quality as far as their filters are concerned. Now, we have the HEPA filters with multiple layers that block small particles almost as well as the N95 respirators. Studies show. But they might have tiny fibers that can get into your lungs. If you cut up a filter to use in a mask, be sure to sandwich the filter material between layers of cotton or other woven fabric. Don't use any filter that contains fiberglass, as I've said. Now, I want us to use the next 1 or 2 minutes to look at the original stance of World Health Organization and other big powers of the world. As far as science, the use of the word science on the use of face mask, they will say the science for against the use of face mask. So the original stance of World Health Organization and then the big powers of the world. As far as science, in quotes, of the use of the face mask, science as in the science and technology, science. Now, the World Health Organization recognizes that wearing a medical mask can limit the spread of certain respiratory viral diseases, including COVID-19, but believes that the use of a mask alone is not sufficient to provide an adequate level of protection and that other measures such as physical distancing and hand hygiene should be adopted. Regarding cloth masks and their recommendation by countries such as means of source control in general population, the World Health Organization has stated that their protective effectiveness to the wearer is still unknown. However, they may protect others if the wearer is pre-symptomatic or asymptomatic carrier of the COVID-19 virus, that's SARS-CoV-2. The World Health Organization recommends that decision makers adopt a risk-based approach when deciding in which settings and circumstances non-medical masks should be used in the community. You see, originally, World Health Organization was of the view that masks should be worn by the healthcare providers. But as the spread of the disease went on and mortality was increasing, we have to err on the side of caution by reducing the spread of the virus from those who are pre-symptomatic or asymptomatic carriers of the SARS-CoV-2, almost close to people who do not have the virus. So the better way of protecting those who are contact of those who are pre-symptomatic or asymptomatic carriers of the SARS-CoV-2 is for the contact to also wear face masks. So this explains how the wearing of the face mask came to be accepted by World Health Organization and other health regulatory authorities. Now, the World Health Organization advice to the public in the context of COVID-19 endorse the use of medical masks under the following conditions. So, in a nutshell, World Health Organization has modified its stance on the use of the face mask as followed, and it has been concluded in the following. Now, if you are healthy, you only need to wear a mask if you are taking care of a person with suspected 2019 nCoV infection, that is SARS-CoV-2. Wear a mask if you are coughing or sneezing. 3. Masks are effective only when used in combination with frequent hand cleaning with alcohol-based hand sanitizer or soap under running water. So it is a cocktail of preventive measures that will save or prevent people from spreading the COVID-19, SARS-CoV-2. If you wear a mask, then you must know how to use it and dispose of it properly. In the course of the program, we'll go into details as to how to wear the mask, how to use it effectively, and how to dispose of it properly. Still on when should people wear mask, CDC, that is US Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, has added its voice as follows. Now, the CDC recommends that everyone over age 2 wear cloth face mask in public places where it is hard to stay 6 feet away from the other. You know, the insatiable need of mankind is such that one may go to supermarket to buy something, one may go to the grocery store to buy something, one may go to the market to buy something, one may have to board car to move from one place to the other, one may charter or board Uber, Bolt and stuff like that and move from one place to the other, buy the Trotsky and move from one place to the other. So whether you like it or not, the wearing of the face mask will come in. Now, this is what CDC is saying. When should you wear a face mask, or who are those who should wear face mask, and who are those who should not wear face mask? Now, who are those who should wear face mask? The CDC recommends, as I said, that everyone over 2 years of age should wear cloth face mask in public places where it is hard to stay 6 feet away from other people. Now, 2, wear a face mask if you are sick and around other people or animals, even at home. Caregivers should use them when cleaning and disinfecting a sick person's bedroom or bathroom. If you need to call 911 or call the ambulance service, put on a mask before medical help arrives. Remember that a mask should be used in addition to other COVID-19 safety steps, as World Health Organization has said, and have said it in this program. Now, it doesn't replace them. You still need to limit your contact with other people. Wash your hands and then under running water with soap for at least 20 seconds. Now, CDC US states that we should wash for at least 20 seconds and keep common surfaces clean, doorknobs and all that. So that is an appeal to all hospitals and clinics and all that. After every doctor has used a consulting room, it will be expedient, medically expedient, to clean the surfaces, the desk, the doctor or the physician assistant used, even the computers, the keyboards, the mice, the mouses, the how do you call it, the chairs, the sofas, the swivel chairs, and even the seats the patients used. The same applies to supermarket and all that. There are doorknobs and all that. Now, people who shouldn't wear face mask. Now, the same US CDC guidelines say that certain people shouldn't wear face mask as follows. Now, children under 2 years of age should not wear face mask. So this is an appeal to all hospitals around the world that CDC in conjunction with other CDCs around the world have the view that children under 2 years of age should not wear a face mask. Now, if the child has a respiratory problem, it cannot tell you that he or she has a respiratory problem and it will cause problems. Now, people who have trouble breathing, asthmatics and all that, people with chronic respiratory problems. Now, someone who is unconscious cannot wear face mask. Now, someone who can't move or take off a mask without help, somebody who is having a severe form of CV or any paralytic condition, and the person cannot move the hand. If you put the face mask on the person is having breathing issues, the person can't move it, and that will even worsen the person's condition. Some kind of hypercapnia can worry the person. High carbon dioxide concentration kept behind the mask can worry the person. Now, how do you properly wear a face mask? Now wash your hands with soap and water for at least 20 seconds, as I said under the CDC precautionary measures. Make sure the mask has no holes. Secure the mask with ties behind your head. If it has loose, pull them behind your ears. Fit the mask around your nose and mouth and under your chin. There should be no space between your face and the mask. Pinch the top edge of the mask, the nasal part of the mask, around the bridge of your nose. The mask should fit tight around your face but still feel comfortable. You should be able to breathe easily, as we've said time and again. Don't wear a mask if it is hard to breathe through. Don't touch the mask while you are wearing it. And as you have worn it, you don't be touching your face regularly. Now, how do you safely remove your mask? Now, take the mask off after you've worn it, or if it gets damp. Maybe for some reasons you remove the mask, drank some water, and you didn't clean your mouth well. You put the mask back, and the water tie the mask 1 or 2 times, and the mask has become damp. It has to be removed. Now, how do you safely remove the mask? So take the mask off after you have worn it, or it gets damp, D-A-M-P. Try not to touch the front of the mask when you remove it, because there could be some aerosols or droplet infections of COVID-19 patients that might have touched it. So you should not touch it. That's where the germs are. That's where the coronavirus, the SARS-CoV-2 are. Instead, pull it off by the ear loops or ties. Surgical masks are meant for healthcare workers, but if you have one, wear it once and then throw it away. Put it in a plastic bag. Make sure the air is out, tie it, and then put it in the trash can. Wash your hands with soap and water afterward. How to clean and then care for your mask? There are some circumstances whereby certain masks can be cleaned and then reused. Now let's zoom in on this. Wash cloth mask with hot water, and detergent or soap after each wear. If your mask has a filter, take it out and throw it away before washing. Put the mask in your washing machine or hang them to dry. Wash your hands when you are done. Before you use the mask again, check for holes. Be sure it is not frayed and doesn't gap around your face. Now, this is the end of part 1 of the scientific basis of face mask. As far as COVID-19 is concerned, this is the end of the part 1. This presentation is very long. So, if God permit, tomorrow we'll continue with the part 2. So, the part 2, we'll start with where we ended, how to clean and care for your mask. Without much ado, stay safe. Your government needs you. Your ministers need you. Your families need you. Stay safe. Stay safe. Stay safe. Stay safe. Remember, wear your face mask properly. Do not touch it when you are wearing, when you have worn for some minutes or some hours. Properly remove them. Wash your hands with soap and water under running water for at least 20 to 25 seconds. Sanitize your hands regularly. Common surfaces must be made to be clean. Let's protect our children when they are crawling and all that, so that they don't touch surfaces and then put in their mouth, so that we reduce the chances that children may get COVID-19. Thank you so much, and see you tomorrow. That is 3rd June 2020. That is Wednesday. Thank you so much. So see you tomorrow.